I found a fascinating. You were into each and every sector. You were into QSR, you were into FMCG. You have worked as a delivery person on bicycles.
I didn't have any clue as to what I'm going to do in my whole life.
Yeah.
Their founders, GNE, he wrote this famous quote from Steve Jobs in his commencement address in Stanford University. He looked back his own life and connected the dots. Even all the failures. Launched my first book in 2016. Take Fevicol. Normal commodity. What Fevicol said.
Kumbh Mela. So
Yeah.
same like how Fevicol also did. They used to distribute any advertisement that really shook out. Glucose, a plane will be landing on the ground. Pilot acts as a conductor. He calls out for the city names. But it's all not an energy drink, but yet it convinced people to buy. If they drink, they get energy. This is how they portrayed the reason to leave their traditional jobs and starting their.
Structure is also open.
Yeah.
The entry barrier, as we say, is very less today. You can just inform them, I need this brand
Yeah.
name and these are my components, product components I need. They will create it, package it and give it to you.
Yeah.
Then you can.
So lakhs of vendors selling momos, the normal momos across in India. But yet Wow Momos became so recognizable. How can someone build a brand?
That unorganized market itself is an indication that an entrepreneur can come and launch a brand and formalize that market. Doctor usually diagnose
Yeah.
the underlying.
Example, Byju's. So if we break down their business unit economics, their ideal marketing expenses were around 34%. They pulled Mahesh Babu from Telugu, they pulled Mohanlal from Malayalam, Shah Rukh Khan, Messi, and they sponsored India for jersey, and also they're into FIFA
brands. You need to occupy the mental space of your customer. That marketing is all about shouting, campaigning, and all those things. That's just the front end visible layer of marketing.
Yeah.
Universally, right? You have only 3 levers of growth of an existing business. 1 is increase the number of customers. 2, increase the transaction size of those customers. 3, increase the purchase frequency. This is the universal model.
to one of their brand. How can we enter into that segment, and how can we track their customers? How is there any framework or methodology or R&D? Is there any framework to track them to product? Hi everyone, it's been a while. I uploaded a video in YouTube and Instagram. So as I previously mentioned on my Instagram story, I am planning to start my podcast journey. So today I wanted to introduce my first guest. He is none other than Rajesh Srinivasan. He is the founder and CEO of Mindful Marketing and a keynote speaker. He is the best-selling author of the 4 books, and the 5th one is in the pipeline. He has an immense expertise in marketing, branding, and sales. It's what we exactly wanted. So that's why he's on to our podcast. I am in contact with him since last 1 or 2 months. So it's hard to get him, but finally he's on to our podcast. This podcast isn't just for marketing professionals, it's for everyone. Either you're a student, or you're a working professional, or you're an entrepreneur, or validating your idea, or you're in a research stage and identifying gaps in the businesses. In this podcast, we discuss how advertising creates a demand for the product or a service, how to identify gaps in the market, why India is witnessing a startup boom, how to build a strong brand around a product. I'm sure that you'll take some valuable insights from this podcast. Without any further delay, let's welcome Mr. Rajesh Srinivasan. So first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. I have to travel to Chennai and to meet you, but unfortunately you came to Hyderabad, and it's a great opportunity that I met you. And the conversation with you is a pleasure. And I'm a regular reader of your LinkedIn posts and everything. So I see you break down the businesses and consumer behavior, marketing strategies. So it's really inspiring, and I'm glad that I'm one of your LinkedIn follower.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
me here. Even I'm surprised to meet you here in Hyderabad.
Yes, sir.
It was a last minute arrangement that we did. Right? We have been interacting for the last one and a half month and trying to connect. And I'm extremely happy to be your guest in your podcast.
Thank you so much.
Can you just tell me about your podcast? Why you're doing this?
Sir, I have started. Initially, there's no plan for a podcast, but initially I used to do videos in Telugu. I started with in English. After that, I moved to Telugu language. I break down business case studies. And after that, later, I wanted to know more about if we can learn from superiors like you. how the boardroom experiences. You have worked with CEOs, founders, and so like this maybe I can deliver more to my audience. So that's how the podcast came to my mind. So
Wonderful.
yeah, so this is how it started, sir. So you're my first guest actually. So this is my first podcast, and you're the first guest. I should be thankful for this.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah,
Happy to be your first guest.
yeah, it will be always be a memorable thing to me. Yeah, thank you so much for this, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead. What we have now today to discuss?
Sir, when I came across your profile, when I started doing research on you, I found a fascinating thing. You were into each and every sector. You were into QSR, you were into FMCG, and you're into retail. You're into SaaS, software as a service, and you're into apparel everywhere. So, in each and every sector, marketing and sales would completely different. The consumer behavior would completely different.
Yeah.
So how did you crack this, sir? How did you work this in different sectors? So is there any challenges that you faced while working? You have worked as a delivery person on bicycles, and also so from core salesman to an author. So how does this evolution came, sir? So if you could, I just wanted to hear it from your words.
Yeah, sure. So that's an interesting question, which makes me to think about my whole career as such. See, I've started my career after my BCom. I
Okay.
did my BCom and completed way back in 1998.
Yeah, yeah.
And after that, my first career was into sales.
Okay.
I realized that I'm passionate about sales.
Okay.
Even during my college days, I used to speak,
Yeah.
and then try to convince a lot of people, my friends, for a lot of things. So I understood I have this inherent salesman
Okay.
inside me. So it helped me to launch my career as a salesperson. Initially, I sold the courses of NIT
Okay.
way back in 1998 and 99.
Okay.
The
Is it
technical-
edutech courses?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
educational courses of NIT. It was famous there
Okay.
at that point of time. So I was studying at NIT.
Okay.
At the same time, I did a part-time salesman job there.
Okay.
I'm talking about way back in 1998.
Okay.
So that's how I launched my career.
Okay.
Then after 2-3 years, I again did something different. I worked with a distribution firm in my native place.
Okay.
And I used to go take my two-wheeler,
Okay.
which used to be TVS Champ, TVS 50,
Okay.
TVS Champ, and I went ahead to nearby villages
Okay.
and distribute the products.
Okay.
So at that point of time, I've learned a lot of things about how to do sales to distributors,
Okay.
right? All these FMCG products
Yeah, yeah.
which we are seeing of Hindustan Liver,
Yeah, yeah.
Dabur. So I used to be a distributor salesperson,
Okay.
distributor salesperson.
Sir, if I'm not wrong, you did your certification from IIM
Yeah.
Lucknow. Is it?
Yeah, I did my IIM Lucknow Executive Management Program, but
Okay.
that was only in 2014.
Okay.
So
Okay.
prior to that, I was working in industries.
Okay.
To be very honest with you, until my age of 33, I didn't have any clue as to what I'm going to do in my whole life.
Okay.
I was wandering here
Okay.
and there, but I did eventually, when I realized, I did everything related to sales, marketing, brand. So particularly on
Okay.
these aspects. So I've shared with you my earlier career, right?
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
I came to Chennai
Okay.
and worked in a few call centers just to hone my skills on speaking.
Okay. Okay.
So I was in my native place.
Yeah.
So I used to struggle to speak in English.
Okay.
I had a lot of stage fear.
Okay.
Even speaking like this with an absolute stranger, I will be a bit shaky. So I put myself in a different situation. In a call center, usually they will teach you how to speak, how
Yeah,
to
yeah.
interact, particularly if you work in an international call center.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was there for 2-3 years in an international call center, learn the chops of how to speak, how
Okay.
to persuade people. That was in 2002, 4, 5, that period.
Okay.
Then I again came into real estate industry,
Okay.
worked there as a real estate marketing, sales marketing. Eventually, when I quit my job in late 2020s, I was heading a real estate marketing firm
Okay.
in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
They had a office at Bangalore also. So that's when, to answer your question, um, I was a bit unfocused, if you ask me, in my career
Okay.
until 2014 when I did my executive MBA program in IIM Lucknow. So eventually, when I completed that course in 2015, I emerged as a batch topper.
Acha.
And my professor told me, you need to do something on marketing because you have a strong understanding of the concepts, foundational aspects of marketing.
Sir, I have a doubt. So you did your IIM certification at what age you did this, sir?
38.
38.
38.
Maybe youngsters would be doing it at 20 or 25, hardly 25, 28. But at 38, 40 age, what made you to join? What made you to join in that? Again, you have to study. Right,
See,
sir?
one thing which I wanted to share with you based on your question is, if I see my entire career, I struggled a lot during my initial phase.
Okay.
My first phase was all about wandering, doing things, multiple things. I was clueless as to what I'm going to do in my whole life and my career.
Okay.
But later phase was my consolidation phase. See, I remember this famous quote from Steve Jobs in his commencement address in Stanford University,
Yeah.
where he said he looked back his own life and connected the dots, even all the failures of him.
Yeah.
When he entered into Apple, he was able to see everything, connect everything, and it really helped. Similar to that, if you ask me, the distribution job that I did way back in
FMCG.
1998, 99, and prior to that, the course, NIT sales
EduTech.
course I did.
Each and every sector you have covered.
Yeah, and then my call center experience,
Okay.
and then my marketing research experience, and along with that, I'm a voracious reader.
Okay.
I read a lot.
Okay.
So all these experience, it started connecting my dots when I
Yeah.
had a mentor, and even when my professor told me certain things. You are doing really good on certain aspects. I needed an external influence, a person to
Okay.
tell me that these are your strengths. Then I picked up in
Okay.
2014. I would call that as a year of my pivot to a different thing. After I completed executive MBA,
Okay.
I launched my first book in 2016,
Its name.
Marketing Success Formula. That's my book name.
Okay.
So then I reinvented myself as an author.
Okay.
Then I reinvented myself as a strategy consultant,
Okay.
as a keynote speaker. So for me, what happened was constant reinvention. Right? I reinvented myself.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
now, I'm a bit curious. Even now, I'm learning AI. I
Yeah.
took up a course
Okay.
3-4 months back, a course in a big university, famous university about codes, and few other AI experts. So I'm learning how to integrate my strategy work in AI, my research consumer behavior work
Yeah.
in AI. So I believe in this. I believe in exploration. That's my mindset. I am a curious person by nature. I tend to do things that are a bit uncomfortable, unfamiliar terrain I enter into quite often.
Yeah.
That's why I always write books. There is a book in the pipeline now also.
Okay.
The 5th book is in the
Okay.
pipeline.
Nice, sir.
So
It's really
that's
inspiring.
that's what defines me. So as a person,
Sir, can I know what are the 4 books? The first one is The Successful Marketing, and
Marketing Success Formula is my first book.
first book. And
Growth Nuggets is the second one.
Growth Nuggets. Right.
Growth Nuggets. Third one is Mindful Marketing,
Mindful Marketing.
which
Okay.
eventually became
yeah.
an Amazon bestseller,
Bestseller. Yeah, I've seen
Launched,
that in your
published
file
by Zebra Learn.
also. Okay.
And then fourth one is the Vacuum,
Vacuum
Principle.
Principle.
The book
Okay.
was all about innovation.
Okay.
And now the fifth one, which I'm working with again with Zebra Learn,
Okay.
it's again related to growth leverage. So we are working on the title. It's in the final stage. Most likely it will be Mindful Business Growth.
Okay.
So
Mindful
it will
business.
be launched in a month or two. That's what we are.
So it's really
aiming at.
inspiring, sir. From a core salesman to the author with 4 or 5 books, it's not a normal journey. And I have an experience in working with as a service. I have experience in working with that. But if you come to FMCG again, the professional, if I wanted to evolve, I again look into SaaS only. I don't look into an FMCG because experience differs. It's a different vertical and it's a different vertical. So that's why I was so curious about knowing how this happened.
Yeah. So I mean, I adapt
Yeah,
to each
yeah.
and every industry.
Yeah.
Then one more adaptation I bring for the particular company
Yeah.
The context, based on the context, their core competencies,
Yeah.
their founders' DNA, the branding needs to be adapted.
Okay.
So I do these adaptations as that's how I'm able to get into various industries. I have a mental model for that.
Okay. 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 So let's start very basic questions, sir. So in advertising, there are two major things that advertising will focus. It generates a craving for the product or a service, or it brings an awareness to the consumers. The major role will advertisement will play.
See, advertising is usually for a brand. For a brand, you're just going to market and inform the market that you have these products and services. That's a very basic job of an advertising, to create demand for your products and services. That's why you as a company choose advertising as a tactic, uh, to go to media and advertise your product. See, apart from that, the advertising might do a lot of things for the brand. See, even in advertising, if you notice that you could do advertising to generate demand. In the early days, we call it as direct response marketing. You do advertising to drive revenue,
Yeah.
to get leads, to get footfalls to your store. That is entirely different. And another type of advertising is brand management. You do advertising to position your brand,
Yeah.
to develop brand identity, to see the brand identity in the minds of the market. So there are two layers into it. Advertising is basically a tactic.
Yeah.
It's a communication tactic that you choose to do as part of your strategy, right? So
Yeah.
everything boils down to having a clear strategy for your brand or a company. Who's my market segment? What is my messaging? How relevant is my product to those segment? What are the insights I have about my customer? So this is the starting place, right? Then if you crack that, then you choose advertising as a tactic based on your customer insights. You deliver something. See, I usually give this as an example. Take Fevicol,
Yeah.
right? Fevicol was handled by a gentleman. I mean, famous creative director of Ogilvy, Piyush Pandey.
Piyush Pandey. Okay.
Yeah, he recently passed away.
Okay.
He took a normal commodity, what Fevicol sells,
Yeah.
really, right?
Yeah.
It's just an adhesive. If you see all your advertisement, he has positioned Fevicol. He brought in a metaphor, saying that the bonding in
Yeah.
all the Fevicol's advertisement, be it a group of people riding in a vehicle, it will not talk about the benefits of
Yeah.
adhesive, right? It is positioned based on the bonding, and it will be communicated automatically in a
True.
metaphorical storytelling way.
Sir, I just wanted to give you one example. Even in the Kumbh Mela, Fevicol, it's like same what you told. It creates a bond. Same like that, they have innovated. Most of their companies have invested mostly in marketing in the Kumbh Mela. So
Yeah.
same like how Fevicol also did. They used to distribute T-shirts. If the family of 4 members are there, they used to wear one T-shirt for the all the four, because the main reason is not to if they shouldn't mix it with any other. So that's how they took an great marketing strategy.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes. Coming back to a question of advertising, an advertising job is more of a consumer centric, and you'll add a layer of creative storytelling right on top of it. Piyush Pandey's major contribution to Fevicol was adding that consumer insight and creative layer to a commoditized product.
yeah.
It was a boring product, right?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a boring product which a carpenters
Yeah.
use as part of their work. See how clearly he created a genuine interest and demand for that product.
Yeah.
So that's the job of advertising.
Yeah.
You become a creative person. So now with the advent of performance marketing, this creative layer is slowly dying. So I mean, in the sense you run ads just to get clicks,
Yeah.
likes, drive traffic, and all those things. That has to be there, but slowly this creative layer we need to bring into the marketing also. This
Yeah.
creative aspect. So a lot of examples you can give where the brand used advertising as a storytelling
Yeah.
mechanism. Even Zomato is also a good example.
Yeah.
Zomato uses story to position their brand.
Yeah.
So in recent days, you could see a lot of creative storytelling done by Zomato.
That's all. So is there any advertisement that really shook you out in the recent past?
So one favorite example of mine was my favorite brand is Zomato.
Okay.
Right, their creative thinking, even when they do campaigns in social media, they used to bring that storytelling layer into it. For example, I saw one of their uh, ad way back in a Mother's Day, right?
Thursday.
They made mothers as their CMOs and asked them to
Yeah.
talk about food delivery and all those things.
Okay.
Very creative company. So recently, I'm seeing a lot of brands doing that creative storytelling also.
Yeah.
But there is another component which has fast uh, proliferated in marketing, which is nothing but data analysis, performance marketing. I mean, we need to balance it with creative storytelling
Yeah.
also.
Yeah. True. If we are talking about advertising and all, I got one of the advertisement which impressed me a lot. It's around 7 8 years back. Did you see this advertisement? It is Tata Gluco Plus. A
Mm.
plane will be landing on a ground. There are pilot acts as a conductor. He calls out for the city names, and did you see that advertisement, sir?
I've noticed it, but not so deeply. I don't
Okay,
remember.
okay. So actually, it really creates an interest to watch the complete ad without skipping anything. He has to push the plane to the group of people who are playing cricket there in the ground. How can we push a plane like this? They say. So then he offers a Tata Gluco Plus. Then it has portrayed it either they have so much sugar, and it's all not an energy drink, but yet it convinced people to buy. If they drink, they get energy. This is how they portrayed, they convinced people. Yeah, and even now people drink glucose or Tata Gluco Plus just for energy,
Mm.
same like how ORSL did. So like this, there are some advertisements which really impress.
Yeah,
Yeah, which can convince customers to buy their products.
yeah.
Yeah, so
So that's a
that's one
good
of the
example. See, that the basic job of advertising is to evoke that interest, the existing interest that is already there in the minds and consciousness of the audience.
Yes,
So that's the main job of advertising, right? You stimulate a demand for your product and service.
Yeah.
The market is so competitive. Then you have to add different aspects to advertising, which makes the customers look into your brand, consider your brand, and choose your brand. So
Yeah.
advertising's job is two. One is to create desire.
Yeah.
Next one is to see how the brand can be positioned in a different
Yeah.
way, framed the value proposition in a different way.
So right now, India is experiencing a rapid entrepreneurship wave. People leaving their traditional jobs and starting their businesses, and they're starting business around building a food product or a fashion product. What would be the reason to leave their traditional jobs and starting their own businesses? What could be this? What would be the reason for this, sir? Founders are becoming front face. Even, for example, Nikhil Kamath and also Lalita Jewelry's founder Kiran, they are becoming the front face of their brand and building brands. And right now, entrepreneurship has evolved. People starting their own businesses. They don't want to work. I don't generalize this statement, but in the recent last 1 decade, people started so many startups. So, what could be the reason for this, sir? What? Yeah, yeah. So, I just wanted to hear from your words.
Yeah, one thing is, even this question, you have two components in it. One is people leaving their job and getting into entrepreneurship, which I see is a good thing, right? See, now you have the infrastructure to do it. That's why you see a lot of people leaving their job, and even in the early after graduation, and even without graduation, a lot of people are getting into businesses, entrepreneurship, launching new businesses. That's one thing. But on the other hand, the the negative aspect of it is from the business angle,
Yeah.
not from an individual angle. And from an individual angle, you have freedom to do
Yeah.
this. As I've told you, the infrastructure is also opened.
Yeah.
The entry barrier, as we say, is very less today. See, for example, if you want to launch a D2C brand,
Yeah.
a health beauty brand,
Yeah.
what you need to do, what you need now today is you need a contract manufacturer. You can go and give your specs to a
Yeah.
contract manufacturer,
True.
tell him what type of beauty product you need, and you can even tell your brand. They will white label it, put your brand logo or
So
name
that means
into it.
you're talking about a third party sourcing company here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. A contract manufacturing company,
Yeah.
where if you can place your order and they will give you a product in your name,
Yeah. Yeah. True.
right? So if you're launching a a beauty brand, let's say uh, Nichols boutique,
Yeah.
beauty brand, you can just inform them, I need this
Yeah,
brand
yeah.
name and these are my product components I need. They will create it, package it, and give it to you.
Yeah.
Then you can put it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Right? Then you can create a YouTube website in 15-20 days, less than a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know,
You can run,
AI can
yeah,
create
you can
this
run an
minutes.
Instagram campaign the
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
month. So this is how simple the entry barrier. I mean,
And
the entry barrier to do launch a D2C business is way less. That's why you see a lot of, if you type a beauty brands a category inside Amazon, you will see a list of
yeah.
brands. So this creates a lot of competition.
Yeah.
Right? So now you have a limited supply of buyers online, but limited demand for your products,
Yeah.
but your supply of products is so huge.
Yeah. So
Right? So it means a lot of guys stuck at certain revenue level, they are not able to grow.
Yeah.
Right? I'm very specifically talking about this D2C brand.
Yeah.
And what happened because of this open entry, there is no entry barrier. So from a business standpoint, at this point of time, you need to think strategically what category you are in. The differentiating point is not in ads, not in choosing platform, because those are wide open.
Yeah.
So that's one thing which I wanted to share. So coming back to your question as to entrepreneurship, why people are entering, as I've told you, everyone wants to own this
Yeah.
space because the entry barrier to do things is very less. And founders, another question, founders being the front end of the companies is also a new trend, and which it makes real sense.
Yeah.
Why? Because in social media, after the proliferation of social media today is mainstream, right?
Yeah.
You and me are in social media. We write content, consume content, we connect with people on social media. In prior to social media, if you notice, the entire business scape was driven by companies.
Yeah.
Companies logo. Right? Today, companies logos, in particularly in social media, companies, their name, the brick and mortar has taken over by humans.
Yeah.
If you're a CEO of a company, and if you also have a company page for you, if you notice, people would engage more with your human interface of social media than your company page.
Yeah.
Take the example of Nikhil Kamath brothers,
Yeah. Sure.
Nikhil Kamath brothers. The content they write has more engagement in LinkedIn, for example, than comparatively to their Zero Das own LinkedIn page. Why? Because by nature, social media, if you take the fundamental principle of social media is all about social, connecting with fellow human beings. So that is being leveraged by the founders, which I think is very relevant and makes sense.
Yeah.
So in social media, if you position your company, I mean, the engagement, the traction will be very less. And if you, that is why these days we see all the founders putting their face in before their brand, before their company, right? Because people connect with other fellow human beings, not with your logos, which we used to do earlier.
Okay. So as you mentioned, supply is high but demand is low. To stand out our product in the market, how can someone build a brand? Like, for example, momos. So if you take the example as momos, we have thousands or lakhs of vendors selling momos, normal momos across in India. But yet, wow momos became so recognizable. How can someone build a brand around a product?
See, now, I mean, your example of Wow Momo, and you have a lot of street vendors who sell momos, right? That's the essence of building a brand. Now, if you notice in any category, there will be mass market, unorganized market.
Yeah.
Let's take even salon, right?
Yeah.
You have a lot of salons, unorganized markets.
Yes.
That unorganized market itself is an indication that an entrepreneur can come and launch a brand and formalize that market.
Yeah.
Right. In salon space, you could see brands like premium brands, right? Like even Lakme, they have a salon.
Yeah.
And then you have a lot of premium brands there. See, at the bottom of the layer, you have an open, unorganized market.
Yeah.
So the rule of introducing a brand, I mean, a mental model or how to think about brand is when there is a huge commoditized, unorganized market, there will be a space for a brand, because in an unorganized market, everything will be traded like a commodity, purely based on price, purely based on the function of the product.
Okay.
The salon example, for example, if you take salon as an example, if you go to a normal salon which is there in the street, the experience will be very, very normal, right?
Yeah.
Even the store space, the way you interact with a salon person, everything will be normal. But if you go to a premium or even mid-segment salon layer like Green Trends or Naturals or whatever in your region, also you will have some brands.
Yeah, sure.
The experience will be way better.
Yeah.
Right. Similarly, Wow Momo's case. So the street vendors, they don't have a brand. They just sell it it's an unorganized market.
Yeah.
So Wow Momo has leveraged it. They gave a name, Wow.
Yeah.
Then they've created an identity around it. They
Yeah.
created a store similar to what McDonald's or Domino's Pizza
Yeah.
done for hamburgers and pizza. They
Yes.
created a identity positioning, and only for momos.
Yeah.
Right? If you notice, you can build a brand if you connect a category, a very particular category with your brand. For example, pizza. Which brand comes to your mind?
Domino's.
Domino's. Right? Burger.
McDonald's.
Yeah. Momo.
Wow.
Wow.
Momo.
So now we call this as category relevance. You take
Category relevance.
category relevance in brand building, right? You take up a category,
Okay.
any commoditized category or any category, and you position your brand for that category. You relate it, you connect it through advertising or whatever tactic. The more the singularity of your category, if you have, the brand relevance will be way, way higher. For example, Wow Momo. Momo is the only singular category they are trying to own.
Yeah.
Right? They have chicken momos, they
Yeah.
have veg momos, they have a lot of products. But the only one thing which Wow wants to remember, keep it in your mind, is that word Momo.
Yeah.
Right? Brand building becomes very, very easy.
Yeah.
Right? So take a lot of examples. Even Domino's example that they own this word of pizza inside your mind.
Yeah.
Burgers, KFC, chicken. Take any brands, right? Nike, shoes, Coca-Cola,
Beverages.
beverage, Red Bull, sports energy drink.
Energy drink.
If the market on this space is too competitive, if a lot of brands are trying to own this word Momo in your mind, right?
Yeah.
Then comes another aspect of brand building, which is nothing but meaningfully differentiating.
Okay.
Let's take, see, now you have Wow Momo. Let's say even in Momo you have 10, 15 brands competing for Momo. What you would do as a founder or a CEO of Wow Momo, you need to bring in a differentiating aspect to Wow Momo, so that people understand that yes, I can choose 15 brands in Momos, but why should I choose Wow? They are doing these things differently. So you're getting my point, right?
Yeah.
Two aspects of it. One is, as a brand builder, you need to have category relevance and some kind of meaningful differentiation to your brand.
Okay. So their stores also look so bright, dark colors. Even Great Kali, I think he is the brand ambassador for that Wow Momos. Their store location, color, packaging, everything is so good comparatively anything from Momos. They are differentiated from all other products. That's why if I feel like they created a brand around that product.
You're right. Even now, as we speak, when I think about Wow Momo, I see that yellow color
and red color.
The identity is also very clear.
Yeah.
That's also very, very important when you try to build a brand.
Yeah.
You own some mental space, right? When I think about that category, I see all those yellow colors, that Wow logo, different Wow logo. So all those things, they have seeded it in my mind,
Yeah.
right? So that's very important. You own some unique branded assets in the minds of an audience.
Yeah.
A lot of good brands, particularly consumer brands, do that.
Yeah. Sir, as your founder of Mindful Marketing, what does mindful marketing mean to you? And why do you believe businesses need a more mindful approach to marketing today?
Yeah. See, to me, mindfulness in business, mindful marketing, the reason why I've conceptualized that, or even I evangelize this in the entrepreneurs business world, or even with mm, even with my coaching clients, right, is you need to have a strategic bent when you do marketing, brand, or any business strategy work, right? What I mean by that is I have an approach called strategy first, tactics next. See, most of the times today, when you meet an entrepreneur, founder, or even a marketer, the first question they would ask related to marketing is something related to campaigning.
Yeah.
What you're planning to do? You're planning to do Meta or Google? That's the first question they
Yeah.
will ask, or they will get into channel level thinking. So we get into tactics so soon,
Yeah.
right? So when I say, even there is a belief in the market where people say, if you're good at execution, you can become successful. I'm not in favor of that, right? Execution is must, but without strategy, if you execute, you will burn all your resources. What are your resources as a business? Time, money, people, your own mental energy. So all those things, if you're in an execution mode, jump into execution. You will not have any hold, right? Because anyone can execute. Like we have discussed earlier, the entry barrier for
Yeah.
channels, media, and everything is commoditized. You, with very less budget, you can start getting
Yeah.
into the tactics and execution mode. Today, on the other hand, if you think of strategy, what is your business model? What is your core competency? Which market segments you are going to tap? Which are what are the gaps available in the market? And then you bring the execution layer, you are on the right track. So
Yeah.
I always, when I talk about mindful marketing, the core theme of what we do, or I do as a founder of mindful marketing, is bring the strategic bent in the execution. I'm not an enemy of execution. I'm saying that connect strategy and execution always. Even when you execute, you will learn a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
You take a step back and then strategize it and then execute. It's like in IPL, if you know, you take a strategic time out, right?
Yeah.
And 10-15 minutes and think about the broader aspects of your business, and then you go ahead and play the game, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by strategy and execution.
Yeah.
So as an external consultant or a coach or a mentor, this is what I do. Any business growth challenge or any brand related challenge or any marketing sales related challenge, I bring in the strategic bent, right? I study the behavior, consumer behavior,
So that
consumer
means
insight.
you're telling that R&D has to be the first thing that.
It's one component. When I
Okay.
say R&D, in my space we call it as consumer research. We research
Consumer
the consumer
research. Okay. Yeah.
get consumer insights and all those things. This is the diagnostic part, right?
Right.
So when you approach any, for example, if you go to any doctor, right, if you tell them that you have a headache, a good doctor usually diagnose
Yeah.
the underlying root cause of your headache.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a bad stomach, that's why you have an headache.
Okay.
A bad doctor might directly get into the solution part, saying that you have an headache, here is a medicine for you.
Yeah.
That's the superficial way of dealing a problem.
Yeah.
Right? A strategic way of dealing a problem is do a full analysis of your body, your component. Your doctor may even ask, what did you eat the last 1 week? It is no way directly related to your headache.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
It is
got
no way directly related to your headache. You may even ask, did you sleep well? You may even ask, do you have a personal problem? How is your life going on? Because stress also affects your head.
Yeah,
may also be the reason for your headache. So if you bring this strategic bent, you understand these underlying causes, right, which is creating the problem, and then you solve the problem, then you solve the problem. Without understanding that, if you want to get into the execution mode, it's like doctors saying after just seeing you for 5 minutes, it's like it's like a doctor suggesting you, go ahead, here is a Saridon, go ahead and take it. Zendubomb, go ahead and take it. You go and apply it. Next week again, the same headache comes. You have a migraine this time.
Yeah.
This time you go to a different doctor who's a prudent gentleman. Yeah, you do all this back end diagnostic study, and then he attacks the root cause. Your headache naturally goes away.
Yeah.
So that's the way you think about strategy, right?
Okay.
Strategy execution model.
If a founder has a budget of 10 lakhs, if they wanted to start a business, what was the ideal budget should be allocated, especially for marketing? So if we take an example, Byju's, so if we break down their business unit economics, their ideal marketing expenses were around 34%. The product sold for 100 rupees, 36 rupees were going only for marketing. How can a business can be successful? They were into each and every sector. For example, they pulled Mahesh Babu from Telugu, they pulled Mohanlal from Malayalam, Shah Rukh Khan, Messi, and they sponsored India for jersey, and also they are into FIFA World Cup. They sponsored for FIFA World Cup also. So an aggressive marketing can create a gap between brand perception and actual reality. So what was the ideal budget should be allocated for marketing if someone wants to start a business in a budget of 10 lakhs?
See, that's what I've told you, right? I use a mental model, a strategy, a thinking, and then see, now the answer to this is it depends, right? On what are the factors that could determine what is the level of marketing budget you need to keep. We will go to that level and discuss so that it might be helpful for the audience. One is, what is your business model in the first place, right? On what type of business you are in. Most importantly, an early stage startup, right? You're in a very early stage of your business. You need to be very, very careful in thinking about advertising at all. At that point of time, your only goal is to find a market for your product. We call it as product market fit in the startup world, right? There, if you even think about bigger companies, how they spend, analyze that, it will not be useful at all.
Yeah.
There, your goal is entirely different. And then once you identify the product market fit, the next stage, early stage, or a stage at that level, you can think of certain how to be in certain markets, certain geographies, right? How can that has to be thought about. Even at that point of time, if you think of running a Facebook ad or a Meta ad or a LinkedIn, or any, if you're a B2B brand, again it varies. That's why I said it depends, right? If you're a B2B brand, you could choose a specific industry and then go to market to that one specific industry. So there your advertising budget might vary. So I don't have a standard answer to your question, right?
Yeah.
It depends on the stage of the business,
Yeah.
the competitive intensity of that market, whether you are a tech business or a category of your business. You are a tech business or you are a restaurant, or are you a real estate company? It varies based on
the stage.
Not just the stage, industries.
Okay.
So that's what makes these type of questions a bit complex, right? If I give an answer in a very generic way, right? You have 10 lakh rupee as a budget. Okay, you can do this. You can do digital marketing, or you can do Facebook, or you can do Meta, or you can do an event, or you can do a community. There are a lot of GTM, go to market motions you have, right? But you need to be extremely careful. That's the problem these days, right? You have immense amount of knowledge. You can watch YouTube videos, you can watch any amount of knowledge, consume a lot of content. But the thing that makes it very difficult for you as an entrepreneur to decide what marketing budget you need to put on is very, very contextual to your own business model, your own stage of your business, your industry. So you can learn, you can have a mental model, you can have a framework which we learn from marketing textbooks or marketing content and everything, but it has to be customized to your own business context. So that's why I would say focus on those elements, so your marketing budget and all those things will have an answer, you will find an answer to it.
Okay.
There is no one standard answer to this question. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
If you have this mindset, that itself is very good. Otherwise you get into some, okay, let me put this money on Meta. That's the challenge, right? You get into tactical thinking so soon just by seeing what others are doing.
So aggressive market can create a gap. So
Okay, answering your question on that, right? Aggressive marketing, like you put in a lot of money inside marketing, you do a splash in the market. Again, it depends on what type of business you are into. For example, FMCG brands, you need to occupy the mental space of your customer. And even there, if you're a seasoned, mature brand operating in a commoditized category, advertising or being there in the market continuously, being a bit aggressive is okay, right? On the other hand, if you're a service brand, you need to aggressively market. At the same time, you need to deliver customer experience also. So if you put in a lot of money just by acquiring, just with an intention to acquire customers, but let's say for a bank, you're spending a lot of money on advertising, right? You are very aggressive. But when I enter into a bank or open your app or try to open a personal account, or if I see a very normal experience, all your advertising efforts goes for a toss. So if you're a service brand, the entire approach has to be, yes, I will be I will drive my brand based on my stories. I will also have substance, back end process, systems, people in place, so that I deliver a wow experience. So these are the two aspects of marketing. Most of the time, people think that marketing is all about shouting, campaigning, and all those things. That's just the front end visible layer of market. And if you don't invest in a back end layer of the market, which where the service is delivered, again your brand goes for a toss. So that's another aspect to aggressive marketing. But I am not against aggressive marketing at all. But in recent years, we have seen brands putting a lot of money on advertising, but without focusing on the product quality or the cultural aspect of it, back end experience of customer experience or product delivery. I think it will not be sustainable for a longer time.
So even I think the same thing happened with Byju's and all, because aggressively marketed, but they neglected their core product, I feel. So that's why that might be the one of the reasons. So So, actually, you already got this topic about customer acquisition and customer retention. I have seen one of your video on LinkedIn of your post. So can you please explain me about what efforts to be kept for customer acquisition and for customer retention? So if you could explain about these two, how to focus on these two.
Yeah, that's a good question. See, if you notice, universally, if you want to grow a revenue for your business, there are only three things you can do. If you're an existing business, let's say you're running a retail store, retail fashion store, where you sell shirts, and it's very specific to men, let's say that. It's a one store. So how do you increase the revenue of that one particular store? Right? We call it as same store. In retail, we use a term called same store sales growth, SSSG, right?
Same store
sales growth.
Okay.
So how do you optimize this metric? Is through three levers. One is, if you're serving 100 customers now, what you can do, if you improve to 120 or 150 customers, your revenue increases. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Right? The second lever is, okay, now you have 150 customers and their average transaction size is, let's say, 1,000 rupees.
Okay.
Right? If you make that 1,000 rupees into 1,500, your revenue increases.
Yeah.
You're getting my point?
Yeah.
Now let's say you have number of customers, 1,000 customers, and then your 100 customers,
Yeah.
1,000 is their average transaction size. They visit your store two times in a year.
Okay.
If you increase the store visit from 2 times to 5 times,
Yeah.
your revenue
Yeah.
increases.
Yeah. Obviously.
So universally, right, you have only three levers of growth of an existing business. One is increase the number of customers. Two, increase the transaction size of those customers. Three, increase the purchase frequency. This is the universal model.
Yeah.
Right. So now, answering your question, most of the businesses get into this only aspect of acquiring more customers.
Yeah.
Right. That's the one. Sometimes we get too engrossed into that one aspect of it.
So for that, I can give you an example. I'm a huge fan of Virat Kohli. Actually, he's a brand ambassador for 2M chips. Are you aware of it, sir? So I used to buy all the SKUs. Different whatever they have launched, I buy all it. But the first time I ate everything, but maybe I never buy it again. So I think I did not like the taste, maybe for my taste buds. Initially, they acquired me. I'm the customer, so customer acquisition is done, but yet retention was not done. So it's
Say they lost you, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Keeping the focus on number of customers, right? That's the one layer of one lever that you can use to grow your revenues. So number 2 and 3 lever is also important. For
Yeah.
example, how do you increase the transaction size? By understanding your customers, you can upsell and cross sell the products, right? That's how you increase the transaction size.
Yeah.
But to upsell and cross sell, you need to understand the customers even more deeply. What are their needs, right? I usually give the example of shoes, right? If you go into a shoe retail store, you would buy a shoe first, then eventually when the counter they would sell you, okay, so now you have bought the shoes, right? Do you need socks? Do you need shoe polish?
Yeah.
Right? These elements are naturally aligned. I need it, right, when I try to use it. So if you understand your customers even more deeply, you can thoughtfully cross sell and upsell. You cannot blindly cross sell and upsell, right? And three, when you provide good service, in your case, if you have a retail fashion store, if you introduce more new products, you give your customers an opportunity to come back to your store. If you serve them really well, if you have a database of all the customers, if you send notifications in WhatsApp whenever you get a new stocks, you're making their purchase frequency also increasing. Earlier, if they used to come to your store for 2 times in a year, now since you stay in touch with them, you make them to come back to your store for the 4th time, 5th time, right? So if you do all these things really well, your revenue growth
obviously
grows exponentially, right? If you focus only on customer acquisition, your revenue, you always will focus on spending money and acquiring the customers. But on the other hand, I call this as seeing this in a geometrical way. In the sense, you focus on acquisition, bring in more customers. At the back end, you have a process for increasing the transaction size, cross-selling, upselling, and increase the frequency of the customer. You not only acquire customers, you make more money out of your advertising. Right? You're getting my point. You're putting 100,000. Let's say your cost to acquire a customer is 2,000 rupees. Right? Since you have a back end plan, you might earn. We call it as customers lifetime value. That is a concept in marketing where we call it as a lifetime value of customer. If a customer stays with you for 2 years, this 2,000 rupees that you have spent to acquire a customer, from one customer alone, you would have earned a lakh or a lakh of 50,000, particularly in the case of your retail store.
Sir, usually customers adapt to the products or the brands especially. So I have an example for this. I only eat Maggi, sir. Even though the competitors were selling it for lower price, I buy a bit expensive. Maggi is a bit expensive compared to Yippee or Top Ramen, other brands. But yet I buy only Maggi. So here my actual question is, if someone wants to get into an business, but they're already existing, it's crowded with competitors, but yet how can we how can we enter into that business, and how can we get sales? This is my personal question actually. I tried asking this question even my professor in my college, but I'm not convinced with the answer. So maybe if you could explain, or if you could give an answer, maybe it could be really helpful for me personally. How can we pull them to buy our products? Is there any framework or methodology or R&D? Is there any frameworks to crack them to product? Is there anything as such?
Yeah. See now, let me see how how I can answer this question. But I've heard from you that you are also trying to get this input from your professors.
Yeah.
Let me try my best.
I asked this question to one of my professor. He told the answer. He spoke about consumer behavior. It's a vast topic. We have to crack that first. Like that he spoke, but he has explained some concepts and all. But I'm not convinced with the answer actually. So I shouldn't tell like that. But yeah, maybe I not get that point maybe. So I just want to hear it from you.
Okay. So now let's take some brands as an example and try to dissect as to how they have cracked it, right? So now you told me that you buy Maggie.
Yeah.
Maggie is entrenched into your mind,
Yeah.
right? So now, if a new competition comes, if a new alternative brand comes, let's say a new brand comes, first it's very, I mean, we need to accept the reality, certain reality. In the sense, it's not that easy for this new brand to convince you.
Yeah.
So we need to accept that reality. Unless the brand has a very, very unique and differentiated value, it's very hard to convince you. On the other hand, I'm just going to answer this creatively, taking that Maggie as an example and you being a consumer.
Yeah.
This Maggie is a very traditional brand, right?
Yeah.
Traditional brand. It's there in the market for maybe 30, 40 years. So you aspire something new, right? Your people in your age. So you want to eat something which is fresh, or which is unique, or which is even, you see the influencer that you follow on Instagram, they consume something. You are into this new culture, right? Something new, experiential. So a new brand who is entering into the space of noodles can think about these aspects, keeping you as a consumer in mind, right? What Maggie is missing to deliver to you.
Yeah.
Right? One thing that immediately comes to our mind is it's a legacy brand which operates at a functional level and a mass market brand. We don't see now. If you take another category like a chocolate, very similar to Maggie, you have Cadbury's.
Yeah.
Right? But how this brand hold the whole truth? There is a brand called Whole Truth. Have you heard about that brand?
No, sir. I'm not aware.
This brand has created a huge differentiation just by seeing that, hey, see, you have to read the ingredients before eating chocolate.
Okay.
And not just chocolate, all those protein bars and everything. They say the whole truth is nothing but, we talk about the ingredients. They have a magazine, they have a blog where they dissect each and every aspect of a protein bar or something like that. So similar to that, you can think about that in when you enter into when you try to compete with Maggie.
Okay.
Right? Bring an extreme level of differentiation to this audience. Something you talk about the ingredient, something of that sort. So this is just one example. Right?
Yeah.
You could, similar to this, I'm just trying to give you not a direct answer, right? So my answer might also be wrong. What I'm trying to do here is find a differentiating factor that is relevant to the audience.
Okay.
To you.
So differentiating factor that
is relevant to you as an audience.
Okay.
Right? You as a consumer of Maggie. If this new brand cracks that, they will be able to steal some share. They will be able to acquire you. Not by directly competing with Maggie. That's the rule.
Yeah.
Right? I'll give you a lot of examples. One is Red Bull. It's a premium brand, right? Red Bull, sports energy.
Yeah.
Now, how brands have competed with this? They have introduced the 10 rupee variant.
Yeah.
Like this another new
Sting or something.
Sting, exactly. That's the brand, Sting. There is Red Bull is a market leader in that space.
True.
But
how
Sting has broke that space?
Yeah.
Right? Similar audience.
Yeah.
Their packaging, and most importantly, bringing that price layer.
Yeah.
Red Bull is a bit costly, right? but they tapped into this mass market by reducing the price.
Yeah.
At the same time, without lowering themselves, their packaging, taste, and
yeah.
everything is really
Yeah.
good. So that's the uh, model that you need to have. Find a gap,
Yeah.
differentiating factor. It could be a price or a story or functional.
Okay.
It could be a functional aspect of it, or it could be a social aspect of it. It could be an experiential aspect of it. If you find that, you will be able to uh, uh, grab the market share. So that's why I told you need to have that strategic blend.
Okay. Sorry, actually, you covered my next question answer also in this example. So actually, yeah, the example was great. Actually, almost 80% or 70% of energy drink were occupied by Red Bull back then, 2017 or 18, until Sting enters into the market. When Sting entered into the market, the complete energy drink segment has changed. It's almost 40% of the market share right now. Sting has,
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so yeah, that's a great example. Yeah, as my next question is about identifying gap. If someone, so whoever watching us, so till now, they have an interest to start their business, or they wanted to do research or identifying gaps, or in your language, vacuum. So how can someone identify gaps, or where they are not performing well, like this? Already you have covered this example. Is there any other example that you can?
Yeah, take the example of Sting itself.
Yeah.
The gap that they have identified is the price gap,
Price,
right?
yeah.
Okay, Red Bull was selling at a premium.
Yeah, 100, around 100,
100. What is the price, right?
Yeah,
100,
yeah.
110.
Yeah.
If you notice, there is a huge mass market which needs an energy drink, but not at that price
Yeah,
point.
in the budget level.
So they simply not did any product invention.
Yeah.
They simply repackaged the product, maintained an identity, used a very clever brand name. Sting is a very clever brand name which connects with the audience,
Yeah.
right? And then they launched it as a lower price point,
Yeah.
and boom, the market
Yeah.
opened for them. See, here to find a market gap or a market vacuum, the rule, a unique physics rule that I apply is, what is Newton's third law of motion?
For every action, there exists equal and opposite reaction, right?
Right? So for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So in every market, wherever you have a premium or luxury version, you could have a low-end mass market version also. This is the law of physics in business.
Yeah.
You could call, I call this as a Newton's third law of markets, right? Red Bull had a premium version in the market.
Yeah.
Where what is the exact opposite of that premium version?
Budget level.
Budget level.
Yeah.
So if you look at the market from this lens, you will be able to see the exact opposite nature. For everything on this side, there could be an opposite also.
Yeah.
If these opposites are not filled, you can take up an extreme position.
Yeah.
Let's take biscuits, right? Britannia and Parle. Earlier, they had biscuits for mass markets.
Yeah.
What did ITC's luxury biscuits segment they did? They found a premium biscuit.
Okay.
Now you have premium biscuits also.
Yeah.
Right, in ITC. I forgot the brand name.
Okay.
You have ITC's premium biscuit. Even take ice creams, right? Mass market, premium market. There could be a mid segment of the market also. The mid segment of the market is also very, very important. I'll give you an example. Take Zudio, right?
Yeah.
It's not low end, it's not premium,
Yeah.
right? Premium luxury, you have Zara's and other brands.
Yeah,
Low
that's
end, you
right.
have all the regional brands.
Yeah.
So how they have positioned themselves is in between these two, and they have grown significantly. So the way to see the market is something like people always want to move ahead in their purchase or a purchase life cycle, right? If a mass market customer could next time aspire to buy something premium or luxury. Zudio addressed this gap, right? You don't have to spend 3,000, 4,000 or 10, 15,000 rupees to buy a premium product.
Yeah.
Here I have a store which is not at a lower category.
Yeah.
Not the premium.
At the higher.
So they crack this middle position.
Yeah.
in the law of market which we are trying
Yeah.
to address. So that's the high level easiest way to see the market gaps.
Yeah.
Right? And I also have another gap which is called a feature gap. right?
Feature
If you
gap.
notice, Colgate.
Yeah.
Colgate was for mass market. Sensodyne, they identified a future that Colgate missed. This was way back, 10,
Yeah.
15 years back. Tooth sensitivity.
Okay.
That's called a future, right?
Future.
They identified that there is a segment of people who need toothpaste to address their tooth sensitivity issue. So they launched a very, very specific brand called Sensodyne
She's
Yeah.
loyal customer to that.
to address this specific sensitivity issue alone. So right,
Yeah.
they found a gap in the market.
Yeah.
So similar to that, if you know your market, dissect it based on certain mental models that I have shared, you can find a market gap. And I believe there will always be a gap in the market.
Yeah.
It is the entrepreneur's duty to find that gap.
Even I just wanted to bring that example. We usually use Colgate or Dabur Red, one of my friend, and she only uses Sensodyne just for her sensitivity. She don't use any other brand.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I just got
Yeah,
that
it
example.
makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Even as a consumer, if you have a sensitivity issue, you would not even think any other toothpaste brand, right?
Yeah.
Sensodyne comes to your brain. Comes to your mind naturally.
You want to share anything?
It actually addresses the issue.
Yeah.
So Unilever has recently shifted half of its global media budgets to creator-led marketing. So scaling its influencer network to nearly 3 lakh creators. So what's your view on this, sir? Because many, not just Unilever, all the other companies also shifting their global media budgets to influencer-led marketing. So what's your view on this?
So my view is a bit mixed on this. See, it's a good thinking, right? See, today, if we see how we as consumers research a product, evaluate a product, we are primarily on YouTube.
Yeah.
We primarily follow some influencers on Instagram or YouTube, and we consume related to the problem that we face in our life.
Yeah.
So most of our purchases very recently, the last 5 years or 10 years, are related to some form of influencer content or any other content that comes in the media channels, not through traditional advertising.
Yeah.
Right? We are very clear on that. So in that sense, what Hindustan Unilever or other global brands are doing really makes sense. But when it comes to consumer brands, like what some of the brands that HUL owns are like consumer brands,
Yeah.
right? For consumer brands, you need one more creative aspect of brand or a marketing that you need. You need to seed that brand name in the minds of the customer. Customers will not just these brands operate in a mass market, right? They buy it even in a local kirana store. They may buy it in Blinkit, Zepto also. So we buy the products of HUL, for example. Let's take HUL as an example, since you asked. We buy it everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. Even conventional, traditional advertising also works for a brand like HUL. So yes, they are doing it 50% of, but I think they will have this also as a model. They will not stop doing those traditional brand building, like having a right identity, packaging, advertising, and seeding that brand identity in your mind. So for example, Colgate, whenever we see Colgate, that white color red logo comes in your mind, right? That you cannot address through influencer marketing and content. That high level memory aspect, right? I'm talking about memory. Memory aspect where you display the product, display the brand in your communication, and seed it. And primarily in consumer psychology, they say for example, a bigger size TV, when you watch as a consumer, if you see an ad there, if you see a product there, it gets into your memory and stays there because the screen itself is so big. Right? So most of the times when we consume content, influencer content or any other content, we consume it in a smaller screen. There the engagement is high because the brand is being introduced by an influencer. That engagement is high, it gets into our heart, and when we go and try to buy a product in a store, we may buy it. So that's one aspect, this 50%. The other aspect is broad advertising memory layer, seeding the brand in the
so you're
memory.
telling that instantly it can grasp us, but ultimately if you want to remember the brand, ultimately the media advertisements would be
Equally important.
equally important.
Are equally important.
Yeah.
So I think both are important.
Okay.
Both are important. You modern marketing is all about aligning your brand with the way people buy, right? So today we buy research, we research, consume, buy products based on what we see on our feeds. It's good that Hindustan Liver is there. On the other hand, they also need to be there in the conventional advertising and distribution phase. That's what I'm sharing.
Okay. So as AI became so accessible, each and everyone can create content, ads. They can run ads. The accessibility has become so simple. How can a business can stand out in the market?
When it comes to AI, the usage of AI, if you ask me from the usage aspect,
Yeah.
how a business can leverage AI, definitely you cannot eliminate AI.
Yeah.
You need to have AI as your partner to reduce your product, increase your productivity, improve the efficiency of the business, improve the cost. Whatever business challenge you shared with me, we can use AI and solve it, right? But the only thing that cannot be solved using AI is few things are purely human aspect of it. If you're an entrepreneur, you know the context of your business, you know the industry. There are certain things which you know, and then the leadership aspect of it, which AI is usually analytical, more of an analytical, right? The leadership, emotional aspect of it, that only a human can bring in. So inside your business, while you automate all your repeatable tasks, you will have to give room for the human element also, particularly if you're running a service business. You automate everything.
Yeah.
Automate everything, all the low productive tasks, particularly let's speak in the context of customer experience. If you take that, you automate all. Even now, if you call some companies, AI handle the automation, handles the call.
Bots
But
will
if
handle the call.
if I get into the deeper aspects of an inquiry, product inquiry, ultimately we will see a human speaking, a human inside a company, right? Speaking. So that's the way forward. You have both AI and the mindset that I usually suggest is human plus AI, right? Human elements, human aspect plus AI for automation and all those things will really help a company.
Okay. So one
And
last.
now these days we are even seeing tech companies no human element at all, right?
Yeah.
They call it as one person $1 million $1 billion companies. That's also possible.
Yeah.
So again, it depends on the context.
Okay. So before wrapping up, so one last question I just wanted to ask you. So can AI replace salespersons? Especially in sales and marketing, can AI replaces the salespersons as they are the front end of a business? Can AI replace them especially in this sector, in this sales and marketing sector?
Okay, so now even in sales, right? Let's see some categories. Let's say you're selling a car, or you're selling something high end, high value product, high engagement product, we call it. Let's say real estate, a luxury home that is 10 crore worth of 10 15 crore worth of a luxury home.
Yeah.
I'm a buyer who's evaluating a car, right? A car which is worth of 50 lakhs or a crore, let's say. Will I be comfortable in dealing with an AI automation, the website, or will I go to the store, see the car, touch the car, understand the
Actual features of it.
actual features of it? There, I need a person
Yeah.
to stand behind me and explain that.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
So I would like to have a human, like to see a human inside a car dealership showroom.
Yeah.
Right? So it depends on the product category also. The higher the customers engage with the product.
Yeah.
For example, even in real estate, people when they do a property visit, they engage with the product. They will have a lot of doubts, clarifications. Not just that, even AI can answer that.
Yeah.
But a physical, I mean, a real human with flesh and blood has some empathetic layer of it,
Okay.
has some trust quotient,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That AI cannot address at this point of time. And
Okay.
we are hearing even in Japan, AI robots take care of patients also,
Okay.
like
Interesting.
nurses.
Yeah.
If AI brings in that empathy layer, again, we don't even need humans, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know how this space is going to evolve, but at this point of time, I believe sales, particularly the question you asked for sales, even in sales, the lower end sales, right, can basically in lower end sales, what you do, we call it as pre-sales, right?
Yeah.
Someone calls you, you handle the call, you prospect them, you see whether they are a right fit for your business, and then you hand over these clients to your sales team,
Yeah.
actual sales team,
Yeah.
who goes and speaks with the customers, clarify their doubts.
Okay.
Yeah, we call it as pre-sales and actual sales.
Yeah.
This pre-sales team can be fully automated because
Okay.
they are just doing a qualification job, right?
Yeah.
That AI can do. If you can give all these qualifying questions to AI, and now AI is doing that in most of the companies, right? Pre-sales is getting is being done by AI,
Yeah.
but the back end query clarification, particularly if it is a high end, in my case,
Yeah.
I'm a strategy consultant, right? Most of my client work is of large ticket size.
Yeah.
There people would prefer to deal with me, right? We have an engagement model where I have a discovery session where I speak with the audience with my customer for 1 hour, 1.5 hour, and educate them. They ask a lot of clarifying doubts as to how will I engage with them. So this, even though I put it on AI, they might listen to it, but at the end of the day, before they engage with the high end consultant, they want to see me.
Yeah. True.
Right? So that aspect has to be thought through when you bring in AI. So in sales, these are the two things. Sales will definitely be affected by AI, but in high engagement, high product ticket
price.
size,
Yeah.
transaction size, where the customer engagement is high,
You need a human there.
still I believe we need a human salesperson.
Okay. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity and the conversation with you. Thank you. So
Thank you for those wonderful questions, Nikhil.
thank you, sir.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the session.
So
Thank
same.
you so much.
Same. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ruku.